So for the shirt the angel dust wears under the corset, I got lucky and I found one in the Salvation Army that was already the right shape, but if you can't find one, just take a turtleneck and cut off the collar, and then cut it down a little farther so it's rounded at the chest. And then I'm doing the pre-Colossus battle angel dust, but if you're doing the post-battle, then you want to split the sleeve and put a few cut marks in the shirt. So for the belt, I got a belt from a second-hand shop, and I got one that was really thin so I could sew through it. And so then I'm going to take a parachute buckle and I'm going to attach one end to each side of the belt. So I just took a pair of scissors and cut open the belt. And then I slid, well first I measured it to see how wide I needed it, and I cut the ends off at a taper so it would fit through the parachute buckle. And then I just slipped that through the slot in the parachute buckle. And then I just sewed it shut around the buckle. I just used a regular needle and thread for this. It's a little bit difficult to sew through, but not too bad. So then I just tied it off and cut off the thread. And then I sewed the receiving end, the other end of the parachute buckle, onto the other end of the belt. And so then the two ends just click together. You want to make sure that you measure this belt before you sew the ends on to make sure that it fits all the way around you, because you won't be able to tighten or loosen it afterwards. And so then there's some silver spots on it, so I'm just going to paint those black. Just paint it black. Also my favorite song. And there they are. Once they're all painted black, they look a little bit better. I can barely see them actually. So for the gloves, I just found a second-hand pair of, I'm not sure if they're like leather-esque or something, they're not real leather, but I just folded them down a little bit. For the pants, I just got a pair of pants with a bunch of pockets in them. It's actually the same pair that I used for the Winter Soldier. And then for the boots, I'm also just using my Winter Chore boots, which I also use for the Winter Soldier. And just in case you've fallen asleep, here's a nice scary picture to wake you up. I was trying to do angel dust eyeshadow for the final shot, but apparently I'm not good at doing eyeshadow and ended up looking more like Rocket Raccoon than angel dust, so I ended up just not doing it at all and photoshopping it in at the end. So for the angel dust hair, you'll start on one side of your head and just comb the top half of that side back, and then just clip it in place at the back of your head just so it won't fall down on the side. You just want to keep it out of the way. And so then, over on the side of your head, the hair that's still hanging down, you just want to take a clump in the front and divide it into 3 sections. And then you'll just do it like a regular braid, passing the bottom strand over the middle, and the top strand over the middle, and then the bottom strand over the middle, and then the top strand over the middle. And so then, from the loose hair that's hanging down, just separate out a small section, and then add that to the bottom, and pass that over the middle strand. And then you'll do the same thing for the top, separating out a strand from the loose hair, adding it to the top strand of your braid, and then just passing that over the middle strand. And then you'll do it one more time for the bottom, separating out a strand from the loose hair, adding it to the bottom strand, and then passing it over the middle. So now that you've done each one once, you're just going to pass it over the middle, pass it over the middle, and pass it over the middle without adding any strands. And then once you've done all 3 of those, you'll go back to adding a strand to the bottom and pass it over the middle, then a strand to the top and pass it over the middle, and then add a strand to the bottom and pass it over the middle, and then of course just over the middle, over the middle, over the middle, without adding anything, and then back to adding a strand to the bottom, and a strand to the top, pass it over the middle, and a strand to the bottom, and pass it over the middle, and then you'll just free braid it the rest of the way down, however long your hair is, and just fasten it with some kind of an elastic. And then you'll just do the same thing to the other side. And so here it is when it's all finished, the braids on both sides, and then you just want to take and brush the loose hair at the top of your head. You just want to brush that straight back. Hers was also teased up a little bit, but I'm just brushing it flat. And then if you have hairspray, you'll just want to hairspray that to hold it in place. I don't, so I'm just going to take a couple of these little clips and just clip them in place in the back on each side. Still be able to see them a little bit, but they'll hold the hair in place without hairspray. So you can kind of see them, but it's not that big of a deal, I guess. So then here is what the finished angel dust costume looks like from the front with the 100% fake eyeshadow. And then here it is with the full costume from the side.